yeah, I'm little but I'm loud, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the railroad historic site in Uptown Greenwood having their groundbreaking. They had two bobcats sitting up there in the front. I said, is this going to be the type of groundbreaking we're going to do? We're going to use bobcats to break the ground. We're not going to use the regular shovels. That would have been pretty cool. That actually would have been pretty cool. But no, they had the groundbreaking yesterday afternoon at the Railroad Historic Site. It is phenomenal that this project is now underway. And I think they said it would take about 10 months if everything goes well. And you know how weather, etc., can slow things down. But if everything goes according to plan, 10 months from now, we will have the new railroad depot, which is a replica of in what they have seen across the state. And we're going to have quite a depot right here. It's exciting. I think the museum staff, Karen Jennings, Nikki Murphy, should all be commended in all their hard work in pulling this together. This will definitely cement the railroad part of our history right here in Greenwood. Of course, we had dignitaries on hand from John McCravey, who handed out a resolution to the museum and the Railroad Historic Site and what it means, to Mayor Brandon Smith, Robbie Templeton with the Capital Sales Tax Project, which is financing a good chunk of that. They've also got the Davis Family Foundation. The Davis Family Foundation has also provided financing for that, and several others have come together to make this project happen. But understand this, there will still be possibilities for you to help out if you'd like to get involved. You know, leaving something that can leave a mark on a community if you have the capabilities to do it, is a really good thing, It's a win-win it's a win for the community. It's a win for your family to be remembered in a way of doing something that, is in the Davis family. They were here in Greenwood. Stephen Davis's, I think it was his dad, said, well, no, we're going to have to, or maybe it was his granddad, I think it must have been his granddad, said, he was taking the train every day to Atlanta, even though they were living here in Greenwood. And he said he told would have been, I guess, his grandmother, that, we're going to have to move to Atlanta. Well, I guess she was not too enthused about it, but then things started to happen, and they were able to stay in Greenwood, and thank goodness they were. And that is why that's one of the reasons, that's part of the story, on why the Davis family wanted to contribute to this building of this depot, because it has history, and it resonates very loudly with them. I think Stephen was saying that his dad would leave Greenwood at 6 o'clock in the morning and arrive in Atlanta 3 hours later, and then coming back at night, he would leave at 4 or 5 in the afternoon and come back at 7 or 8. So that was a grueling day. And he didn't do it every day, if I remember correctly. He didn't do it every day. He did it 2 days a week, I think. But he just foresaw that Atlanta was where they were going to end up being. So, but they didn't. They stayed, and they never, although they've expanded to Greenville, etc., they stayed right here in Greenwood, and those are the roots that they want to celebrate. So that was pretty cool. There's some great pictures everywhere of all the different groups, from the board to county, the county group, the city group. There's a lot of hoopla, but well-deserved hoopla, having known how difficult it has been to be able to secure the financing in this time, and to know that the price that they had when they did this with the capital sales tax project back in 2016, that's almost 10 years. Well, it is 10 years, Ann. Be 10 years, I guess, in the fall. But the 2016 capital sales tax project is what is paying for this, the majority of this build. And of course, the prices have gone up tremendously, and to be able to fill in the gaps, to be able to do this is truly tremendous. So congratulations, Karen Jennings, Nikki Murphy, and all that have worked so hard to make this a reality. Hey, did you know I'm Ann Eller, right here with you on Good Friday. It is Good Friday. We made it to Friday. No, I mean, it is Good Friday. And all across this world, Christians are celebrating this time of the year, celebrating Good Friday. They'll be celebrating Easter. It is a tremendous time of renewal. And sometimes we should just sit back and look at where we have come from, what we have, and how we ourselves can be renewed. I saw something today. It made me really depressed. What? You want to hear about it? Okay, I'll share it with you. It's a quote today. You know, I'm big on daily quotes, and I was flying through looking for some stories here and everything, and I said, well, let me check out this daily quote and see if it has any purpose here today, and I just was totally depressed afterwards. Whenever a man's friends begin to compliment him about looking young, he may be sure they think he's growing old. Wah, 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 wah. Washington Irving said that in Bridge Hall. Whenever a man's friends begin to compliment him about looking young, he may be sure they think he's growing old. Wah, 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 wah. Did you know back in 2010, Apple released the first iPad tablet? How about that? And in 1996, on this date, the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, was arrested at his cabin near Lincoln, Montana. You know, one of the things that I had the pleasure of going to was the newspaper museum. I'm not sure that's what it was called, but it was all about newspaper media up there in Washington, D.C. And I was so sad when that place closed because it was such a great, number one, resource, and it was so interesting to see how we had progressed. Everything, it was not just newspapers, it was media, and it was called the Newseum. The Newseum, that's what it was called. And it was such a neat place, and they had accumulated such wonderful artifacts. One of the things they had, I don't believe it was the actual cabin, but or was it? They had actually had a cabin, one of the times I was there on display, of Ted Kaczynski's, the Unabomber, his cabin where he lived, and they had recreated all that. They had a piece of the Berlin Wall in there. They had a piece of the metal structure from the 9/11, the Twin Towers. They had a helicopter in there. Yes, they actually had a helicopter suspended in there. It's a great. And then, of course, you could see the progression of TV. You could see the progression of radio. You could find papers of all different times. When you went there, one of the fun things that I thought, and I think they thought was fun, is they had a newspaper from all across the world, one newspaper from every area, from every major news source, and you could see how differently the headlines were interpreted by different parts of the country, of the world, not just the country, not just the United States, but across the world too. So when I heard that the museum was closing, I actually was very sad. I think it was a treasure. I think that it got sold to one of the schools up there, and of course they've expanded upon it, but it was great. And I'm sure that I hope that they had a successful. I think it became, what I understand, they got a super offer. That was part of the problem. Or no, it was part of the solution. Plus it was very expensive to keep that up, but it was very affordable to go in and was just a treasure. I, as media, got to go there and got some tours while we were there, pointed out maybe some extra special things. It was great. But it's gone. Never mind. If you go to Washington, D.C., I don't think it's there. I know it's not there unless somebody has taken the artifacts and done something with it, but it was terrific. All right, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. Interesting to note, we all know that Lindsey Graham was here this week, and one of the things that was in my what happened to it? One of the things that was in my inbox here this morning was a letter from Lindsey Graham. And I thought, really? Okay, well, let's see if I can find that again. Because he was telling all the things he had done. Here it is, right here. Okay. All the great things he had done for Greenwood. This is an interesting campaign, way the campaign is being run. I'll just say that. How about that? First, he tells us when he was doing his spiel, his stick, his conversation. Number one, he is very, I won't say the word charismatic. He certainly can tell a good story. He certainly enjoys telling a good story, but it's all with an idea of accomplishing an end goal, and the end goal was to get you on his side. Well, in truth, there are at least two. I know there are two. There might be a third that popped up that I'm not aware of, that are running against Lindsey Graham for this seat as a Republican. I'm sorry, they really don't stand a chance. They just don't. And I appreciate the fact that they are putting their name out there, but they, don't have enough money or support to make this a reality. So, and then, of course, we have several on the Democratic side that are running, which is great because we need candidates from all points of view. But again, I don't believe they have the strength to take down a Lindsey Graham. So, let's just talk about Lindsey Graham here. So from a strategy, this is totally fascinating. He comes, he talks about the good things, he talks about his relationship with Trump, he's got real life stories to add to it. And then he says that because he's going to be working, I think, on the reconciliation or something up there, he's just not going to be able to campaign that much, folks, but you understand. And then he moves on, he tells us more good things. All right. So he wants us to know in this follow-up letter what he has done for Greenwood. Because after all, isn't it about always bringing home the bacon? That's right. And I heard a phrase yesterday, in the last few days, a treasury trough. That is so true, the treasury trough. Well, he goes on, as chairman of the Budget Committee and senior member of the Appropriations and Judiciary Committees, I've been able to deliver federal dollars to our state for critical needs that addresses everything from cutting-edge medical equipment and addressing the statewide nursing shortages, necessary road, bridge, and clean water infrastructure projects, and ensuring our first responders are equipped with the latest crime-fighting and life-saving tools. In fact, in just this term alone, and this is where he begins to tell us all the things he has done. He talks first about what he's done for South Carolina as a state. And in truth, one of the things that Lindsay is accused of is not doing much for our state. So he counteracts that by saying $1.3 billion in direct spending for 223 projects across South Carolina and 715 $715,510,195 since fiscal 2024. Had I not secured these funds, this money would have undoubtedly been sent to nameless Washington bureaucrat who could care less about our community. I wasn't going to let that happen. I wanted to highlight a small sample of the work I'm doing in your community, meaning our Greenwood area. You deserve nothing less than an understanding of how these dollars are helping you instead of being handed over to a Washington bureaucrat. And then he goes through what he did in 2023. He directed $256,000 to Piedmont Technical College to provide additional resources for students going into fields that are strained by workforce shortages. So that was one. In 2024, I was happy to assist the Greenwood County Sheriff's Office with a $900,000 for important upgrades to the 911 call center. This ensures that residents of Greenwood County have access to enhanced public safety and quick emergency response time. That same fiscal year, I directed $2.4 million to Lander University for facility renovations and the purchase of simulator equipment for the school's nursing program. As part of the most recent funding cycle, he goes on, I secured $1.1 million in funding for the Greenwood Genetics Center that will be used to purchase critical equipment to support the Carol A. Campbell Jr. Alzheimer's Initiative. This equipment will help researchers in our state find a way to slow the progression and ultimately find cures for neurodegenerative diseases like ALS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, I made sure to meet the Piedmont Technical College needs of Piedmont Technical College by securing $1 million for its welding program, by improving access across various educational pathways such as skilled trades. Each day, I work hard to improve the lives of residents across Greenwood County and remain committed to delivering critical resources to addresses that are in need. So, there you go. I just thought that was an interesting way to get your campaign message out there and to show that, yes, you are bringing home the bacon, even though you're not very visible, you are doing that. Virtually every day over the past 5.5 years, I've met with South Carolinians who make their case for funding. My passion for our state, my position in the U.S. Senate places me in a truly unique position to deliver for South Carolina. Well, what do you think? 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. What do you think about his way of campaigning this year? He puts it out there, what he's doing. Okay, I knew I'd get a rise out of a few people here this morning. Let's check it out. Oh, let's see. What does this one say? We got a couple here that just came in. We're talking about Lindsey Graham this morning and his unabashed way of campaigning, right? He was here in Greenwood, and then 2 days later, follow it up with a letter. That's quite a campaign. I mean, somebody may look at this and go, oh, Ann, what are you talking about? No, it is very technically proficient. And you know what? It didn't really cost him anything to do it. Lindsay, we need more money down here at WCRS Radio. We need more radio advertising. Come on, Lindsay. I know you got it in your pocket. Anyway, let's see. This texter says, Lindsey Graham has gotten to where he brags as much as Trump does. I think he really needs his ego stroked also. Yeah, I think so. But yes, and you know, it's when he was talking about at that event the other day, somebody asked him if he ever thought he could beat Trump. And he goes, no, and if I did, I still wouldn't have beat him, or something to that effect, because Trump needs to win. Speaking of Donald Trump has let one of his chief officers leave. Pam Bondi is no longer in the job of Attorney General. I'd have to say, I never thought, I mean, I know she is a great supporter of President Trump. She was there for him all along, and she as far as that goes, I never thought that publicly she handled the job effectively. Now they're touting about how crime is down across the nation, how this, that, and the other. She is being, I'll use the word discarded as the Attorney General, but she has been, I'm sure, promised some plum position in the private sector doing important work, if I'm closely quoting what President Trump said. But I never really liked how her attitude came across to the folks. But that's just me. And I think that it'll be interesting to see who the pick is. Lee Zeldin, who is currently the head of the EPA, is being bantied around as one of them. So that's one. Also, what's his name? Mark Blanchard is currently in that position. He actually represented Trump in 3 of his 4 trials or something. So he's being bandied around like, but I think it was interesting that the general consensus is because Pam was not able to deliver what President Trump wanted, which he said he didn't want, but he does want, is the retribution against those who came down against him. I can understand that desire to get retribution. I certainly can. I think we all can. But one would have to be very, from Pam's position, one would have to tread very lightly if one is going to see if there really is this that is something in the climate of today's world going to tolerate. And so far, the courts have not been very understanding of Trump's position. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we got another message. I think we have another message. Let's see. We've got a message here. You know, one of the things that I think a lot of people would like to see is that our representatives, whether they're on the state level or the federal level, be more responsive to our calls. And that actually comes down to your staff, because in truth, most of the time, and I mean this can be a fault of or not, but most of the time, this is left to the staff to figure out how to deal with it. And so depending on the staff, depending on whether you get called back. Well, one of my texters here has issues to call about, and she says, I have called Lindsey Graham, Sherry Biggs, Nancy Mace, and Tim Scott. Believe it or not, Nancy Mace actually called me back. I've been waiting to hear back from Sherry Biggs for over a month. I understand. And so, but it is interesting how those calls, and sometimes one of the biggest things is having the right person be able to call for you. I hate to say it, but that's what it comes down to. They do get a lot of calls. Their area of what they have to cover is huge, I don't, in truth, you know, when we've always had 2 senators. That's what we've always had in the Constitution. The size of our representatives is based on, is it 400,000 people? I'm just guessing in my brain. I'm not sure that's right. But it is a huge number of people that each representative across this nation has to handle. That's why in the House of Representatives, it's done by population. And in the Senate, it's just done 2 representatives per state. But that makes it very difficult when you have that many people to be able to handle and to have a staff. In truth, it probably should be a little smaller. In the House Representatives here in South Carolina, of course, it's smaller. And of course, we have less representatives all the way around because it is smaller. But and then you break it down and you go to county government, and that covers a smaller area. And then the city government covers just the cities. So you can be really close, let's say, with your city or your county representative. But as you get up into the state level, and still some pretty good response time. But when you get into that federal level, it is really difficult to get that relationship. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that is a problem. All right, 864-332-9355. Nobody's gonna come in this morning and say, Ann, Lindsey Graham's gotta go. I think it would be great if Lindsey Graham could go. I think it would be great if Lindsey Graham decided to go. I think that would be great, because that would definitely open up the possibilities of a new representative. But as long as Lindsey Graham wants to stay there, it will be very hard to push him out. As he said, he's influential. He has the ear at this point, because it is a Republican president. He has the ear of the president. And so very difficult. I did hear a funny joke the other day. And the question that was posed was, instead of asking Lindsey what he wouldn't bomb, ask him what he would bomb. And see if there was ask him what he wouldn't bomb instead of asking him what he would. Ask him what he wouldn't bomb and see if there was anything he wouldn't bomb in the world. Speaking of the world, the Strait of Hormuz, I think, is going to be left up to the Europeans, the Saudi Arabia area, that for getting oil through the Strait of Hormuz. The president has lambasted all of those in NATO for not standing up and helping. Of note, the French President Macron is meeting with the Korean president, North Korea, I think, to see how they can work together. My first thought, are they both short? But anyways, I don't know. He is right. They have more to lose in not having the Strait of Hormuz open. So why are they not stepping up to help? And I know a lot of them are upset that the president has said this, but it is true. Now, leave no idea. The president will make sure that Iran is crippled. But instead of the United States doing all the heavy lifting and really probably having to put boots on the ground, he has said, we'll do it, we'll leave it, you guys finish it up. I think that is quite smart. We'll see if that actually happens, right? We'll see if if he finishes up, he says, I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, within a month anyways, that this thing will be finished. And so we all hope and pray that it is. We also hope and pray that we are not having to have any more casualties in Iran. So Iran is a country that just doesn't want to give up. And so for that standpoint, that becomes more difficult. I wonder what effect this has had on Ukraine. We've heard very little about Ukraine and Russia. I just wonder what the effect of that is having on the thought process of where that war is going to grow, and would we even consider going somewhere with that? All right. Anyways, that's just another topic for the day. I think it is a time when people retire. And speaking before I go there, I do want to say I know many of you knew Anne Hancock. What a terrific, tireless person Anne Hancock was. Anne Hancock did die yesterday. I think it was sometime in the afternoon, early evening. She had I think it was an aneurysm. She was in the hospital. They caught that, but then she had pneumonia. She had several issues, and I'm not really sure about all of them. She was in a coma for quite a while. Not sure if they ever brought her out of the coma. Part of the reason they kept her in the coma was to protect her. I mean, these are all things that I have heard secondhand. I do not have exact knowledge, so I could be wrong on some of this. She was transferred to hospice maybe about a week ago when they said there was nothing else they could do. And she is now, as one person put it, rejoicing with her brother in heaven. If you knew Anne Hancock, you knew she was feisty. That's what I would have to say. And she didn't take any gump off of anybody. I had the pleasure of having Anne on the radio. We talked about a lot of her stories about being involved in the Republican Party, about being on the campaign trail with Bush, some of the exciting stories that she had done, things she had done. Anne Hancock, you lived a life well done. She told a story about having a professor who told her that she didn't have any business going into education. When she got her doctorate, because she was Dr. Anne Hancock, when she got her doctorate, so the story goes that she told me, she went back to that professor, and I don't know whether she threw her latest book, her latest something, she threw it on the counter and said, guess what? I am a doctorate, and I am in education, and I am successful. And Anne Hancock did not suffer fools gladly. She would tell you in a skinny minute how you were wrong, or if you were right. Anne Hancock always was beautifully dressed, always dressed with the idea that every place she went, there would be somebody that she might need to meet or talk to, and so she always looked perfect. One of the last appointments that she had was on the Delahau board for John Delahau board for the School of Agriculture. And at the time when she got appointed to it, actually Senator Billy Garrett appointed her to it. I said, Ann, why are you doing that driving up and down the road? I know, but it's got to be done. And when I asked Billy why he appointed her, and there is no better that will get this place straightened out. And both of those things were true. John Delahau certainly is a statement to the, no matter how old you are, of what you can do in this world if you so desire and put your heart and your mind to it. So Anne Hancock, we never did get that second interview, but that's okay. Your legacy precedes you. And your legacy to Greenwood and to the Republican Party is huge. We appreciate all that you have done. Now go rest on that mountain and enjoy eternity. You are well deserved. And that is Anne Hancock, a force to be reckoned with. Whether, and I'm sure that she will be a force in heaven, just as she was a force right here on this world. I'm Ann Eller, right here with you this morning, talking about things, having a little coffee talk. Actually, I'm having my green tea with ginger and lemon and honey. You know, the last few days, just changing topics here. Last few days, I had felt really good. Then I don't know whether what's pollinating or what's bringing pollen to us now, but I am devastated again. We haven't talked about what the weather's supposed to be for this Easter weekend. Let's go ahead and check it out. Check it out. What is the weather? Oh, the weather, the weather. Oh, yes. Well, so far this morning I've watched 902 steps. Not very much, but don't worry, I'll catch up here today. All right, it is 68 degrees out there. We are looking for a high today of 82. Tonight will be a low of 63. We are cloudy skies early, then partly cloudy this afternoon. Winds light and variable. Tonight we're looking for cloudy skies, low of 63. Saturday comes in with cloudy in the morning with scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day, high around 80 degrees. Chance of rain is 50% on Saturday night. Partly cloudy during the evening, followed by cloudy skies overnight, low of 64. And Sunday, cooling down some with a high of 70. Rain, high near 70 degrees, winds southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 90% on Easter. 90% on Easter. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch. Let's just put it this way. It's going to be soggy. Absolutely, it's going to be soggy. However, coming in on Monday, we'll have a high of 70. Monday, some sun in the morning with increasing clouds during the afternoon. High around 70 degrees. Monday night, mostly cloudy, low of 46. And on Tuesday, high of 74, low of 47. Wednesday, looks like a high of 67, low of 44. And on Thursday, we're staying in those mid-70s. Should be gorgeous weather. Some sun and clouds, but still nice weather here for that, all that good planting and everything that everybody wants to do. By the way, today is the last day over there at John De La Howe at the Governor's School if you'd like to get see what they have been growing over there for plants. I want to give a shout out to Ray Pettit, who is retiring for after more than 40 years in EMS as a paramedic. He is retiring. So, and it looks like he wants to do a lot of fishing. A lot of fishing, because they show pictures of him fishing. So congratulations on your retirement. Congratulations for serving our community. Being a paramedic has to be a very, very stressful job. You never know what you're going to deal with. No day is the same. Each day is definitely different. And you are constantly dealing with people at some of their worst times. So congratulations, Ray Pettit. Have a great retirement. Enjoy the fishing. And hope you really can retire. You know, that's one of the things. People that have been so involved in life, sometimes they have a hard time trying to say, okay, enough already. So anyways, congratulations on your retirement. Congratulations on serving Greenwood County as you have. That is terrific. Well, I think the debate is definitely sinking in for people. What are the effects of it? What'll be the future of it? I did want to tell you that the Democratic Party has their meeting tomorrow. The Greenwood Democratic Party is having their meeting tomorrow, and their very special guest will be candidate Eunice Leomarker at tomorrow's breakfast meeting. You will have a chance to personally hear from and meet U.S. congressional candidate for SC3, which is our district, Eunice Leomarker. She's from Clemson, has an extensive background as a counselor, healthcare professional, classroom teacher, and small business owner. So that's who is going to be there tomorrow. If you'd like to learn more about her, everybody is welcome at the Democratic monthly meeting. That is Saturday, April 4th at 9 a.m. at Morris Chapel Baptist Church. Floyd's Fish Fry, always a favorite, is coming up. This is also from their newsletter. Isn't coming up till May 2nd, but I thought I'd tell you about it. It's going to be a Meet the Candidates, 11:30 to 2, and it is moved to West Cambridge Park, 451 Grove Street, right here in Greenwood. It says, it's going to be like an old-time stump, I guess. Bring your lawn chairs, plan to hear from all the candidates, meet local and federal candidates, and enjoy your choice of fried fish, hot dogs, and hamburger plates. Veggie option also available, $20 a plate. So that's coming up. And what else? This is from the Democratic newsletter. What else? They're having an after Easter hunt on April 11th. So that will be next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday. This is an interesting idea. Oh my. I have an itchy head here this morning. Bring the kiddies for a free event the Saturday after Easter. It's a second chance for those who couldn't get one prior or those who haven't gotten enough. Free after Easter egg hunt, Saturday, April 11th from 1 to 3, Gray Street Park, right here in Greenwood. Over 1,000 plastic eggs, free candy, arts and crafts, games, fun, and more. Sponsored by the Greenwood County Democratic Party. That is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So there you go. And they also are doing their own cleanup of Cokesbury Road cleanup Saturday, April 18th, 9 to 10:30. Meet at the Emerald Baptist Church, which is at the corner of Laurel and Cokesbury. All equipment, etc., will be provided. Now, this is one anybody might really like to go and see, but candidate for South Carolina to speak in Greenwood, Dr. Jermaine Johnson, a Democratic candidate for governor of South Carolina. That will be coming up on April 18th. 11 a.m. at the 929 Phoenix Street. So that is right over there. They'll be having an opportunity to meet Dr. Jermaine Johnson next door. Next here. And then he's also going to be in Abbeville for their spaghetti and dinner forum on Monday, April 13th at 5:30. So Dr. Jermaine Johnson will be April 18th. At 11 a.m. So we'll find out more about that, but I just did wanted to let you know about that. So there you go. That's another thing going on. Now let's switch over and just talk about some of the events going on at the other events that you might not know about or might have forgotten about. So let's talk about those. Anybody commenting on anything I'm talking about this morning? Now's your opportunity. 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. Just saw from the New York Post, Iran claims it shot down a U.S. fighter jet. Country places bounty on pilot. Maybe we better check this out. This just came across from the New York Post. I don't know when this actually happened. I just saw it as a post coming through. Iran's tallest bridge destroyed in U.S. airstrikes. So they are definitely going at it. I would have thought, I know, excuse me, so sorry. I would have thought they would have put a pause with Easter. Just thought I'd say that. Even though they have nothing to do with Easter, I know they are not believing in what we believe in, but still I would have thought they would. This just came in. Iran claimed Friday it shot down a U.S. fighter jet as it put a bounty on the pilot, who Tehran claims was ejected before the attack. This is bad. This is very bad. The anchor of a local affiliate of the state TV broadcaster promised a reward for anyone in the Iranian public who alerts regime authorities to the pilot's location. This is really bad. If you capture the enemy, pilot or pilots, alive, and you hand them over to the police, you will receive a precious prize, the anchor said, according to the Associated Press. U.S. deploys third aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, to the Middle East as Iran war rumbles on. Trump says the war against Iran won't last much longer. Strait of Hormuz will reopen automatically after the U.S. exit. U.S. has struck more than 11,000 targets. Iran strikes Kuwait oil tanker in a drone attack off the Dubai coast, report. So this is still going on. I would have thought that actually that they had a pause with Easter coming up, but I guess not. Or they still could, but so far I guess they have not. But this is bad news about one of our fighter jets being shot down. But tanker ships must pay Iran's Revolutionary Guards in Chinese what? I wasn't going here this morning on this. I just saw some of this stuff. It just gets to me. They know they can reel me in. Tanker ships must pay Iran's Revolutionary Guards a toll in Chinese yuan or crypto before they can pass through the Strait of Hormuz, a report says. How about that? Ships attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz will need secret codes and to pay up to $2 million in Chinese yuan or cryptocurrencies to avoid being attacked by Iran, according to a new report. After Iran's lawmakers approved a bill to impose fees on the safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz this week, new guidelines have set for tankers and cargo ships to buy their way through with a company link with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Oh my God. All right. Well, anyways, that's another story there to discuss. What else did we want to discuss here this morning? We wanted to talk about some of the events and whatnot happening in our and around our area. And we got another message here. Okay, it says one new message. All right, what's the one new message? Well, I think that could be true, but she basically says that she thinks it's a bad look for our government to be firing people like Pam Bondi. Well, I think a large part of it is even how often does somebody actually in an administration that is doing something, I'm just going to say that's doing something, make it through 4 years of an administration? Not very often. Number one, I think there's a lot of burnout, particularly with somebody like Trump, who is constantly moving and getting stuff done. Now, in the Biden administration, you could probably just count on filing your nails and not doing a lot because he didn't do a lot. But when you have an administration that is genuinely focused on getting lots of stuff done, there is a lot of burnout. just as in corporations where they have a lot of a corporation on the move is quite often firing, getting rid of, bringing in new blood, finding that perfect mix. And it is difficult. It is difficult to find the mix that's going to work, that's going to make it work. In the case of Pam Bondi, I was not a fan of Pam Bondi, but she was in a tough position. The president wanted her to go after some of his adversaries, and every time they did, they got blocked by the courts. Now, was that poor putting together what they were putting out there? Did they have all their I's dotted and T's crossed? I don't know. That may have been part of it. Or was it just Trump derangement syndrome in the courts? I'm not sure. But the bottom line is that, and then there was the Epstein files. She made statements that she shouldn't have made, like all that list of all those participants was sitting on her desk, and yet she never produced them. I mean, there were problems with how the Epstein files were rolled out. So that's the case of what happens. In the case of Noam, they've moved her over where she's not going to be speaking with the public, and I guess has no ability to handle the money. By the way, did you hear about her husband? Kristi Noem's husband. It's no wonder she's having that affair with Lewandowski. That's all I'm going to say today. We might delve into it next week. Evidently, he's a cross-dresser. And there's more, but we won't discuss it today. It is Good Friday. Good Friday. All right, I'm Ann Eller. Let's see if we can get to what I wanted to get to apprise you of some of the things that are going on this weekend. There are all kinds of Easter egg hunts. Tomorrow there are a lot going on. Don't forget, on Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS, that is when we find out, is Lander going all the way, boop, boop, boop. They've already gone all the way, but going all the way to the national championships. That's what we want to know. And they will be playing Sunday at 1 o'clock, so if you're having dinner, eat early. Eat early so you can be watching the game at 1 o'clock. This is going to be an exciting time. I happen to know that they are on the ground up there. They are getting ready. They're practicing some. They're getting their minds and everything in the zone. So they are up there in Indianapolis doing their thing. So I hope that you will check that out. Let's see. All right. So that's one big thing that is going on this morning. All right, we've got I've got some comments coming in here this morning on our Facebook page. James Long is commenting here this morning. Let's see what James has to say. Okay. Well, good morning to Greenwood Performing Arts. James Long, it's a great day in Greenwood. Well, yes, it is. Let's focus on Greenwood. If Washington is burning to the ground, we have to ensure Greenwood is shining bright. That's a good message too, but it's good to know if the Army's coming towards us. Right? We got to know what's happening up there so we can be prepared down here. You cannot live in your own little world without knowing what else is going on. Let's see. Then we have, he said, I've tried contacting them all about unpaid bills for services we did at Shaw Air Force Base. They have been no help. He's talking about our representatives. The U.S. government won't pay me. Well, I don't know about that one, James, but you'll just have to, I guess you'll have to sue them to get paid, right? I don't know. I guess, did you have a purchase order for this job? That would be the one thing I would say. I know the government works on purchase orders. The problem with the government is it's too big. It's just too big. And so therefore, no matter how hard we try to make sure that we are covering all these that we can have that relationship, when things get too huge, we just can't. It's just like a corporation. I keep bringing up business because government is a business, even though it rails against the fact that it is a business. And so when you have a small business and you deal with people, oh yeah, somebody's driving up, pennies on it. And James Long just said yes, he had purchase orders. Then I don't really understand that, James. I would at some point love to talk to you about it. But I agree that concentrating on our state, in fact, I've often asked if South Carolina couldn't recede from the nation. Maybe that would be our thing. We've got a coast. We could put a we could put a passing gate if you wanted to go, like not a toll booth, but an actual, you have to enter our country and go through. People have thought that was a ridiculous idea. At times, I have thought that it was quite necessary to keep ourselves safe from the rest of the world. I also thought that we could build our own wall around South Carolina and protect our state that way. Some people say I'm nuts. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS. Let's check out a few of the events that are happening right here in our area. So let's flip over here and see what we've got. By the way, next week we got a great week of guests coming on. Who do we have on Tuesday? Tuesday we have Chip Tinsley. They will be talking about the battle in Troy, that Wisteria Park. We're going to learn more about it and be able to talk more about that on Tuesday. But that is going to be a big event. That will be on the 18th. Yes, on the 18th. So you'll want to tune in for that. Chip Tinsley, Eric Williams, and maybe three people are coming anyway, so I just found out this morning who exactly is coming to talk and educate us about that. Then on Wednesday, Karen Jennings and Nikki Murphy will be joining us talking about, well, of course, we'll be talking about the recent groundbreaking, but we're also going to be talking about the Museum Derby Party, which is coming up on May 2nd, from 5:30 to 7:30. It's always fun to talk about that and see how they've changed it up. It is one of their best fundraising events of the year for the museum. And then on Thursday, we'll be talking to Brenda Feast over there at the Greenwood Women's Clinic. We'll be talking some more with her. And, of course, they have their big event a week after that on the 16th with the Road to Life with Tim Tebow. So looking forward to finding out more about what Tim Tebow is going to be doing while he is here in town. Whew! And then the following week is filled, and the following week is filled, so we're going to be busy on WCRS. And then, of course, we're going to be switching on the politics hat and talking a lot of politics. So that's kind of where I'm at here, folks. So right now, though, let's see what we have for events going on right here in Greenwood. This is a new, the Optimist Shift organization. I don't know much about them. I know it is a new organization here in Greenwood to work with children and underprivileged children. Come support a great cause at our first annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament. The Optimist Shift Foundation is bringing the community to get together for a day of fun, competition, and purpose. Grab your squad or pull up to cheer. Either way, that you will be able to make a difference. Let's make this first fundraiser one to remember. Date, April 25th from 10 to 2 p.m. Location, Brewer Middle School. Team registration $40 per team. Fan entry, $5 to watch. Registration deadline is April 14th. So if you'd like to do this, you need to register by the 14th. That's for registration for teams. Don't wait, secure your spot today. So that is a new event that will be coming up on April 25th. Also, tomorrow, there is an Easter egg hunt at the Humane Society of Greenwood. Decorate a cookie with any donation. Easter egg hunt, $5 per child. Goodie bags for all kids. Grand prizes. And, of course, meet adoptable animals. The whole purpose here starts at 10 a.m. out there at the Humane Society, 2020 Airport Road. So that is, they're also having an adoption special. $50 puppies and kittens, and those will all be either fixed or have a voucher to be fixed, and all their shots and everything. So that is a real deal, folks. $25 for adult dogs, $15 for adult cats. The $5 per child for the Easter egg hunt tomorrow with all kinds of goodie bags, prizes, decorate a cookie. That is going on all day tomorrow out there at the Humane Society. Now, I thought this looked pretty interesting. The Greenwood Premier Theaters is playing Pride and Prejudice, Sunday, April 5th, Easter, and Wednesday, April 8th. That is just a delightful movie. Thought you might want to know about that. And tomorrow, Saturday, April 4th, 8 to 1, the Brewer Center Community Yard Sale and Vendor Fair. All proceeds support Stars 24 Teen Center. If you'd like to exhibit, $20 per table, indoor space. Vendor setup begins at 7 a.m. So this event takes place on the first Saturday of every month. Have unwanted items, donate them to the Stars 24 Teen Center table. To reserve a table or to drop off donations, call or text 839-228-4497. That's 839-228-4497. That is going on from 8 to 1 tomorrow over there at the Brewer Center Community. They're having a yard sale over there. Also, the book sale at the library starts Wednesday, April 15th through Monday the 20th. Always a great selection, and with summer coming, great time to pick up some paperbacks. You know, a lot of people, what they used to do, and I mean, I think people are probably still doing it, buy those paperbacks, and if you've got a place at the beach or you're going to the beach, take a bunch of them with you. If you leave them behind, that's okay, because somebody else will enjoy reading them. It's also a great gift for a shut-in to take a few books and maybe a cup of coffee and a cookie and drop it off and make sure they know that you were there to see them. Now, at the Modoc Speedway, you know, I got to get over there. I don't think I'll get over there this weekend, but I am going to get over there. Bring a bucket or bring a bag, but be sure to bring the kids on Saturday, April 11th. So that's the next Saturday. Join us behind the flag stand in the grandstand area for our kids meeting and candy haul. The meeting will take place during intermission for track prep. This event will become a regular part of all of our events, and we will be seeking sponsors for the candy haul each event. On April 11th, it'll be sponsored by Kelcar Motorsports and the Modoc Speedway staff. That sounds like a lot of fun. I want to get over there. So there's that. Okay, now this is an event that's coming up. Cornerstone is bringing this event to Greenwood. Comedy Night with Dale Jones, Tuesday, May 5th at 7 p.m. at the St. Mark United Methodist Church, River Street campus. Free tickets, limited seating. To reserve your tickets, call 864-227-1001. That's 864-227-1001. That is a Cornerstone Clean Comedy Night right there on May 5th at 7 p.m. Those tickets will sell out. And then I am now helping with the Dancing Goat Festival. The Dancing Goat Festival over there in Honeypath. I tell you what, this festival is going to be awesome. So they will be making their first annual Dancing Goats Festival. Now you may say, what the heck is Dancing Goats? Well, they're actually going to take live, real goats, dress them up any way you want, from top hats to Easter bonnets, whatever, and any type of clothes you'd like to put on them. At 1 o'clock next Saturday, they'll be having a parade down Main Street with the goats. Then they'll be having a beauty pageant. And one goat will be crowned, I don't know, Miss, I guess, Miss Honeypath Dance goat of the year. I don't know. But anyways, they'll be crowning the best goat for that. They have great lineup of bands and everything that are going to be there all day long. You can find out more on their Facebook page, Dancing Goats Festival, I think it is. Yes. Find out more there. But then they've also got, which I think is a hoot, they are having an old goats competition. Now, the old goats, they've got 5 old men up there in Honeypath who all own businesses, I believe, or some of them do anyways, and they are dispensing invaluable advice if you ask for it, and you'll pay them anything that you can. Now, on the day of the festival, they'll be going for the gusto to see who's the biggest goat of these old guys. So they'll be handing out advice, I think, for a minimum of $1. So this is just going to be a great, fun festival. I hope you're going to get over there. Justin is going to be with us next Thursday morning at 10 a.m. to tell us more about it. So please tune in next Thursday. All right. That's another one. What else have I got here for you? Oh, yes. The annual RTC Lunchbox Charity Dinner Series is coming up soon. Save the dates for these great partnerships. We're going to be actually working with them. We'll find more about it next week when they're back in school. We'll be in front of Hobby Lobby this year. But Indigenous Underground is helping Sports Break. And so then, of course, the G. Frank Russell Technology Center, where all this takes place, they've got to be cleaning up and getting ready for this event. It is a fundraiser. It's the 2nd annual G. Frank Russell Lunchbox Charity Dinner Series. So this is a great cause, and the kids do a great job at it. They learn so much. So put that on your calendars for April 20th, April 27th, and the final one is May 11th. Oh, there you go. Free admission at the Dancing Goats Festival. Yep, there you go. And what else have I got? Oh, next week. Is it next week? Yes, next week. The Tom Petty Tribute Band will be here on the 9th, as is the art walk all around Uptown Greenwood. So you've got 2 events. It's art, wine, and beer. They've thrown it all on the wall and said, whatever's your pleasure, we will be doing it. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think that starts 5 to 8. We'll get more details for you if you don't already know about it. But that is next Thursday. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Yes, it actually is the Petty Rewind, the Tom Petty Tribute, next Thursday, April 9th. And so that'll be right there at the Uptown Market. Then they'll be having the art walk, and you'll get beer or wine, whatever your pleasure is. So that's pretty cool. All right. Anything else I want to make sure that you know about? I'll be on the air tomorrow morning, So we'll try to finalize some of these. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something cool on a Saturday morning right here on Trash to Treasures along a country road. By the way, if you are trying to get some of those young ones to learn to swim, check out the YMCA. They are signing up for summer swim lesson registration. Opens April 6th, so that'll be next week. So check it out. Make sure you get the kiddos registered for that. It is so important that they be able to swim. That, my friends, is going to do it for me. I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you have a blessed Easter. I hope you pick up that phone and call a friend, a relative that you haven't talked to in a long time, and maybe just talk to them. Don't send that email or that text. Pick up that phone and call them. That is what is important to everybody today, that personal contact. I am Ann Eller. This is Ann Eller and Penny. She's saying, get off the air. I want my breakfast. I want my breakfast. Yes, that's what she's saying. So we're going to give it up. We're going to have a great day. I hope you have a great day. Got anything to let me know about? 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. That's the number to let me know about an event. That's an event. That's a place you can let me know about things going on. And you can sound off with your own personal comments anytime, day or night. I'll be sure to get it. 864-332-9355. We are going to drop the curtain, cue the music. Happy Easter, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.